everyone, and happy Saturday. Well, how can we all balance our hormones with the diet? Well, this is the topic we are going to talk with Swati Madan. Swati is a registered nutritionist and functional medicine practitioner from UK. I'm Amita from Nourish Talk, a platform for natural and holistic therapies. I'd like to introduce all of you to Swati Madan, who's joining us live from London right now. Welcome, Swati.
Thank you so much, Amita, for having me on board today. Thank you.
Well, we can get started now if you like.
Sure. Okay. Right, everyone. So I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Some of you are starting the morning of Saturday, and in UK, we are all relaxing. It's 6 o'clock in the evening. We're just lazing out. And it's Christmas tea time as well. So you can see the Christmas tree right at the back. So it's just those Christmas feelings. So in those feelings, let's just talk a little bit about hormone balancing with the right nutrition and the lifestyle, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Right. Okay. So what is hormones basically? We talk a lot about hormones. Hormones are basically the chemicals that are produced by various glands in our body. And so they are basically sent into the bloodstream. And then from there, from the bloodstream, it goes into different tissues. And that sends the signals to the tissue of what the tissue needs to or supposed to do. Sometimes there is overproduction of hormones or there is underproduction as well. It's very important to note that when your body is stressed out, even physically or mentally stressed, your hormones can become imbalanced and it can lead to conditions such as infertility, diabetes, thyroidism, hyper, adrenal fatigue, and depression and anxiety as well. Okay. And so some of the signs and symptoms to look out for when you think you've got hormonal imbalance are things like infertility, hair loss and thinning, low sex drive, menstrual irregularities. If you're feeling fatigued as well, and if you think that your iron levels are fine, you've had your thyroid levels checked as well, just, get your hormones tested. So it could be just to do with the estrogen and progesterone, which is the two important hormones that I'm going to talk about later in the presentation today. Change in appetite, digestive issues, is a lot to do with the gut health, but it could be due to the hormonal imbalance as well. Sleep disturbances, we're going to talk about that. Weight gain and weight loss. Sometimes you're trying to lose weight, but you're not able, you've tried everything, you're not able to lose weight. So the thing that you need to think about or, get it investigated by a healthcare professional like a dietitian or a nutritionist is to get your hormones balance checked. Brain fog, which is, sometimes we get confused, we become forgetful. That could be due to hormonal imbalance, and then the depression, anxiety, and irritability as well. So some of the key hormones that I'm going to talk about are things like testosterone. Testosterone is the key male sex hormone that regulates the fertility, muscle mass, fat distribution, and the sperm production as well. So if somebody, if a man is trying to lose weight or gain weight, and they're not able to do either of those, then they need to get their testosterone levels tested as well. And again, if there's an issue with infertility and stuff like that, then it's best to get your testosterone levels tested because of the sperm production. Estrogen is a very key sex hormone in female, which basically is responsible for the development of female body and the secondary sexual characteristics as well. And this is a key hormone in women that is to do with the weight gain, weight loss, depression, anxiety, whole lot of things that we're going to be talking about in today's presentation. Progesterone is another key hormone that we're going to be talking about, which plays a key role in menstruation, pregnancy, and it reduces your symptoms like menopause as well. So progesterone is really high from puberty up until you reach perimenopause. Perimenopause is a stage which is before menopause, and in today's situation, it can actually start from mid-30s as well. So you can have the menopausal symptoms, which is called perimenopause, starting from mid-30s, going on to until you reach menopause. And menopause is a situation where you see the complete cessation or stoppage of periods, basically. So you can start having those menopausal symptoms like mood swings, hot flushes, and things like that, even in perimenopause. And that's a lot to do with your decline in the progesterone levels. Cortisol is another important hormone which your body produces. It's called a fight or a flight hormone, which basically keeps you on the go, and it is which helps you to make decisions as well. So let's say if you are out and about in the forest and if you see a tiger, cortisol is the hormone that's suddenly produced, and it tells your body or your brain to take a decision there and then. Whether to fly, you just run away, or if you've got any arms or ammunition and you want to fight it. So cortisol is a very, very important hormone. However, we're going to talk about what happens when your body goes into chronic stress and your body is producing immense amount of cortisol as well. The other hormone is thyroid hormone that you must have heard a lot about these days. If somebody's got hypothyroidism, then they lose weight quickly, and if it's a hypo, then they're not able to lose weight because it is a lot to do with your metabolism. Leptin decreases your appetite. So it's basically a satiety hormone that sends signals to your brain and tells the brain, I am full. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone. So it tells the brain that, when you feel hungry for food, and it basically because it increases your appetite. Endorphin, serotonin, and dopamine are the feel-good hormones, which are really important hormones again, and that helps in elevating the depression and anxiety. Exercise plays a really important role in producing these hormones. So we're going to be talking about these hormones a little later in the presentation as well. Right, so let's talk about estrogen. Now, as I said, it's a very important female hormone. It's a reproductive hormone, but it has other functions as well. It contributes to bone health. It regulates the menstruation, and it regulates the cholesterol production in the liver. So when you see the estrogen levels going down from perimenopause, which I said mid-30s up onto postmenopause, that's when you see problems or the issues of brittle bones. And that's when women become more prone to things like osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, and things like that because of the impact on the bone health because of the decline of estrogen. And then again, you see there is irregular periods as well when your estrogen level goes down. Hot flushes or mood swings as well, because it has an impact on your how you feel. And it regulates the cholesterol production in the liver. If there's a decline in estrogen level, then the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, that goes up, and HDL, which is the good cholesterol, comes down. So basically, it's really important to balance your estrogen levels. Now, we've talked about the decline in estrogen. So when the estrogen goes down, then it has an impact on your bone, on your mood. You've got hot flushes and, your cholesterol levels as well. And we know that estrogen levels starts going down from perimenopause. But there's something called as estrogen dominance as well. I don't know if you've heard about estrogen dominance, but that means that your estrogen is higher than the progesterone level. So your estrogen and progesterone basically are two sex hormones that are really important, and they play different roles. It's important to keep them in balance. Now, progesterone basically plays an important role in burning the fat, so that to produce energy. It also balances your menstruation cycle as well. It is important to keep your other hormones in check. So progesterone level starts going down from perimenopause. That's why you see an imbalance in estrogen and progesterone and the estrogen dominance. That means that even if estrogen levels are going down, they're still higher than progesterone. So if you see the hormone fixed timeline, this is how it looks like. From puberty up until just before 40s, the progesterone level is higher than estrogen levels. But then you see a sudden decline from later 30s, that the progesterone starts going down and the estrogen starts dipping as well. That's when you see, you have symptoms like hot flushes and mood swings and brain fog and things like that, because your estrogen level goes down. However, if you just see from this graph, there is something called estrogen dominance, which I just talked about, that your estrogen is going down, but it's still higher than your progesterone levels. That's when you start seeing the symptoms of estrogen dominance, so things like PMS, hot flashes, night sweats, weight gain, irregular menses, and bone loss as well. Because it's important to see that your estrogen is declining, your progesterone is declining, but the estrogen dominance is higher. So your estrogen is still higher than progesterone. So it's important to have a balance between estrogen and progesterone to balance your hormones, and so that you can manage your symptoms as well. So if you see the balance here, if you've got excess amounts of estrogen, then you see there's an increase in body fat, and especially around the middle area. That's when, so when women go into perimenopause or menopause, that's where they see the deposition of fat, especially around the middle area. Depression and headaches, fluid retention. So you say you feel bloated, and it just could be the water retention as well because of the excess amounts of estrogen. Increase in blood clotting, decreased sex drive, increased risk of breast cancer and endometrial cancer as well. However, if it's balanced with the progesterone, then that helps to use the fat for energy. It is a natural antidepressant. It's a natural diuretic, so that your water retention goes down. It restores the sex drive. It normalizes your blood sugar levels as well. And it helps prevent cancers like endometrial cancer and breast cancer. So it's really important to balance those hormones. And we are going to be talking later on in the presentation, how do we balance the hormones? Okay, now, so we've talked about what is the hormone imbalance, what are some of the key hormones, what are some of the symptoms to look out for, but what are some of the causes of this hormonal imbalance? So the first and the foremost is the pesticides. Now, how do we ingest the pesticides? It's because of the food products. So if you are eating the grains, fruits and vegetables that have been sprayed with pesticides and fertilizers, that's how you're ingesting the pesticides. And that has, that can cause things like PMS, PCOS. So that causes the hormonal imbalance. HRT, which is the hormone replacement therapy, basically what that does is it's giving you artificial estrogen. So that increases the estrogen levels. Again, you have to remember it's increasing the estrogen level, but it's not increasing the progesterone level. So there's an imbalance in estrogen and progesterone, which causes the estrogen dominance. Antibiotics. So if you eat too much animal produce, which have been given antibiotics or growth hormones, that's how your body is taking antibiotics, by eating those animal products. And what happens is that, sometimes doctors have seen, because you're taking antibiotics via that way, your body becomes more prone to antibiotics. And, and then if you've got any bacterial diseases and doctors have tried antibiotics, then it does not work. So they have seen, the research shows that in some cases, they've seen that as well, where the antibiotics stop working because you've taken antibiotics the other way. Xenoestrogens is basically the chemicals that you take. We're going to be talking more about that. It's the toxins, basically. The chemicals that you're taking in, in the way of, if you're using too much BPA plastic, if you're using toiletries, skincare, which has got toxins in them, or too much chemicals, even the cleaning agents that you're using, if it's got too much bleach in them, or the disposable gloves that you wear, even the newspapers as well, and the receipts or the bills that you get from the shop, the shopping mall tills, even that has got a lot of xenoestrogens as well. And I'm going to be talking more about that, how does that have an impact on your hormonal balance. Chronic stress basically strains out your adrenals, and adrenal produces your hormones, different hormones like thyroid, parathyroidism as well. So that's why if you're really chronically stressed, then that has an impact on your hormonal balance. Liver, if liver is not functioning very well, if it's not detoxifying very well, then that has an impact, because what liver does is, one of the functions of liver is that it excretes excessive amounts of estrogen, or the used up estrogen from your blood. So you can imagine if your liver is not functioning very well, which could be in the case of, liver damage, or when some people have got fatty liver disease. If these other things, or you're taking in too much toxins, then your body is not able to excrete the hormones that your body does not need. If it's too much production of those hormones, and your body starts storing those hormones, like estrogen hormones. And again, if you're having too much estrogen, then that causes the estrogen dominance, the symptoms we've just talked about of estrogen dominance. The other thing is alcohol. Alcohol has an effect on estrogen and progesterone. So basically that increases the estrogen and it reduces the progesterone production in your body. So it's really important from the perimenopause stage to reduce the intake of alcohol as much as you can. And for men, it has an impact on the testosterone levels. So if they're having too much alcohol, then it reduces the testosterone production. That has an impact on the sperm count, or also on their muscle mass, or their the sex drive and things like that. So alcohol has an impact on your hormone balance. Then we're talking about the poor diet. So diet which is high in processed foods, processed fat, trans fat, high sugar, starchy carbohydrate, that has an impact on your hormone balance as well. Because if you're taking too much carbohydrate, then your body basically, that gets digested into sugar. And as soon as the sugar enters your blood, your body produces a hormone called insulin. And what insulin does is, its job is to clear away all the sugar from your blood into the cells, so that once it's cleared into the cells use it up as a source of energy. However, if you're eating too much of carbohydrates or sugary foods, then your body is not able to do that. And your body goes into something called insulin resistance. So your cell starts resisting insulin, and that can be the cause of, leading causes of diseases such as PCOS, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and even obesity as well. Okay, so we have seen the symptoms, we've seen what causes the hormonal balance. Let's talk about how to fix the hormonal imbalance. Are we okay for time, Amita? Have you got any questions so far, or are you okay for me?
That's okay. You can finish your talk. It's okay. We can take the questions in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Perfect. Great. So let's talk about how to fix the hormonal imbalance. We're going to be talking about nutrition, liver detox, exercise, stress management, and sleep management as well. So let's talk about nutrition. Now, eating healthy diet, eating nutritious foods is really important, but I'm going to be talking mainly about fiber. Now, fiber has an important role in keeping your gut healthy. So your gut microbiome is made up of healthy bacteria and non-healthy bacteria. So the idea for you to do is ingest those foods that are high in fiber, like prebiotics and probiotics, so you can increase the count of healthy bacteria in your gut, because many of these hormones are produced in the gut. Okay. And also the other thing is, I know it's the hormones, but again, the other thing that you need to be aware of is that 70% of your immune cells live in your gut as well. So you can imagine how important it is to keep your gut healthy, because that has a direct impact on your hormones and your immune cells. So as I said, fiber just to keep your gut healthy. So eat foods that are high in prebiotics and probiotics. So prebiotics are non-indigestible carbohydrates that you get from whole grains, nuts and seeds, fruits and vegetables as well, or you take the probiotics as well. So probiotics you get from fermented foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, kombucha, which is a fermented tea, or from the live yogurt as well. If you're not able to manage that, you can take a good probiotic supplement, but it's important to see the quality of the probiotic supplement, because that has to bypass the whole digestive tract, and it should be able to target the good bacteria in your gut. So it needs to bypass the tract and go directly to the large colon, because most of the the probiotic supplements that you get off the shelf, they're not able to do that. They just die. The good bacteria just dies within the digestive tract. Probiotic supplement is basically the live bacteria that you're taking in the supplement form. So it needs to stay live until it reaches your gut microbiome. So it's important to buy a very good quality supplement if you're going for a probiotic supplement. Otherwise, you can get it in the food form as well. And we've also seen in the research that there are many hormone-related diseases that have been associated with low fiber diet. So things like PCOS, type 2 diabetes, because fiber helps to keep your blood sugar levels in check. So you can imagine if your diet is low in fiber, then your body is constantly producing insulin, where your body goes into insulin resistance, and that can lead to type 2 diabetes or PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome. Obesity, and again, estrogen dominance as well. So it's important to have good amount of fiber in your diet. Choose organic whole foods and cruciferous vegetables. So by organic, because we've said that, pesticides and fertilizer have a great impact on your hormonal balance. So as much as possible, I know it's not always possible to get organic foods, but as much as possible, you can get hold of these foods, just get the organic foods. So whole foods like whole grains, fruits and vegetables, amaranth, buckwheat, they are really good sources of grains and good source of fiber as well. And if you're taking fruits and vegetables, then they work as the antioxidants, which basically helps to slow the aging process and also is great for your immune system. And it brings the inflammation down as well. Right, okay, so let's see healthy fats and cold press oils. So healthy fats, like, if you're going for animal foods, go for organic ones. Organic poultry, fish is really good source of healthy fat. Avocados, nuts, seeds are good source of healthy fats. And oils, so go for cold press oils like coconut oil, avocado oil, rapeseed oil, and olive oil. Coconut oil is really good in MCT, which is medium chain triglyceride, which performs many good functions in your body, and it keeps your brain active and your immune cells active as well. Fat is really the building block for hormone production. Now, your hormones are basically produced by fat, and it needs the cholesterol as well. And cholesterol is really important to produce your sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. So you can imagine if your diet is really low in fat or cholesterol, then your body is not able to produce good amounts of, estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. That's why we say that, don't go for the low fat diet. Go for a diet where you are ingesting healthy fats. And we've seen in the research that if, especially girls, if they've gone for low fat diet, then it can play up with their menstrual cycle. They have, it plays up with their other hormone balance like estrogen and progesterone, and also with the breast production as well. So it's not able to, whatever function it is supposed to do, the breast is not able to do that because of the low fat diet that is becoming really common amongst the youngsters. So it's important not to go for the low fat diet, but just include good amounts of healthy fats in your diet. It also reduces the inflammation, as I said, MCT oils. It boosts your metabolism as well. So it's a myth that fat makes you fat. It's only the trans fat that you find in the processed foods like pizzas, cakes, burgers, and cookies and things like that, or trans fat and the sugar, the saturated fats. So it's okay to have saturated fat, but just reduce the intake of saturated fat, but increase the intake of polyunsaturated fats, the fats that we've just talked about, olive oil, avocado, nuts, and seeds, and omega-3 fats as well. And we've just talked about the probiotic food. So gut microbiota influences your hormones because your hormones are produced in your gut. And if you're taking probiotic foods, that it improves the production and regulation of key hormones like insulin, ghrelin being the hunger hormone, and leptin satiety. So leptin is really important. So you have to have a balance, you know. If your body's producing too much of ghrelin as well, then you're always going to be in the hunger mode and your body will crave for more food. So you need to have right amount of ghrelin and leptin produced. And we just talked about the probiotic sources. The other thing that I wanted to talk today about seed cycling. Now, seed cycling, I'm not sure how many of you have heard about seed cycling, but that has research shows that it has plays an important role in keeping your hormones balanced. So basically, it either increases the production of certain hormones, or it can reduce the production of certain hormones as well. So we look at the cycle from day 1 to day 28, which is the period cycle in a women's hormone cycle. So from first day of the periods until day 14, you need the estrogen boost because your estrogen levels, there's a decline in the estrogen level. How do you boost that up? By taking 1 tablespoon of flaxseed and 1 tablespoon of pumpkin seeds. So if you have that from day 1 to day 14, that gives the boost to your estrogen hormone. And from day 14 to day 28, your body needs progesterone boosts. So if you have 1 tablespoon of sunflower seeds and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds, then that helps to give the progesterone boost. So try that. That has an impact on your hormonal balance, and that keeps your cycle balanced as well. Okay, so the other things that I just wanted to bring to your notice around nutrition is practice mindful eating. So by mindful eating, what I mean is that when you just paying attention when you're eating your food, you're not getting distracted by technology. Because when you start eating food, when you put the food in your mouth, from that time, your digestive system starts working. And if you're paying more attention, if you're attentive, to what you're eating and you're not getting distracted, then your digestive system can work properly. And then lots of hormones get produced by your digestive system and your gut. So it's important that you keep in your gut and your digestive system healthy. So by practicing mindful eating, there's loads of information that you can see from mindful eating. And from the different websites. So try to find the information, and then otherwise we talk about mindful eating in our online programs as well. Hydration, it's important to keep yourself hydrated. So try to have enough water, so at least 7 to 8 glasses of water every day. And so you can have other fluids as well. So if you're having tea, coffee, water, broths, so bone broth, vegetable broth, that helps to keep your body hydrated as well. So it's important to have, 6 to 8 glasses of fluid in a day, which can include just water or other fluids as well. Rainbow diet is important. So basically to have colorful diet, and that you can get from a variety of herbs and fruits and vegetables, different colors of fruits and vegetables, because that will give you a diversified nutrients in your diet, and that helps to balance your hormones well. Probiotics, we've talked a lot about that. And practitioner, see if you've got any hormonal imbalance, and so see if you can work with a practitioner like a registered nutritionist or a dietitian, so that they can find out if there's a balance in any of your hormones, and what is it that you can do to balance those hormones. First of all, you need to find out which hormones are out of balance, and then they need to do a plan for you to how to balance your hormones. And then the other thing is stopping alcohol and smoking completely if you can. I mean, smoking, definitely. Alcohol, just reduce the intake as much as possible, because we've seen that if you're taking alcohol, especially with women, then that increases the estrogen in your body and reduces the progesterone. That can cause estrogen dominance. And in men, it reduces the testosterone production. Okay, I just wanted to check. So Amita has gone offline and she's trying to get back in because there was some problem with their network connection. So I just need to quickly check if I'm just talking and if anyone is listening to me. I just don't want to keep talking and nobody's able to listen. So hi, Amita. Okay, right. So she's just saying that I should continue. And hopefully you're able to listen to me and I'm not just talking to myself. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is magnesium. Magnesium is a really important mineral for your hormones. It also calms the nervous system. So in case of stress, anxiety, or depression, it helps to calm your symptoms. It regulates the body's response to stress and energy production. It helps, with producing the energy as well, and it helps to balance the hormones. Now, if your body is deficient in magnesium, then you will feel the symptoms such as feeling tired, anxious, and less able to cope up with the sleep and stress. And the other thing was sleep as well. If you're not able to sleep really well, then it could very well be that your body is deficient in magnesium. So just increase the intake of your magnesium foods. So things like green leafy vegetables, spinach, kale, broccoli, whole grain foods like brown rice and amaranth. Epsom salt is also really good. So you can take bath before going to bed and you can use the Epsom salt in your bath, and that will give you magnesium, and that will help you with your sleep as well. If that's not working, I would suggest that you can go for a good magnesium supplement, because that will help you with your sleep and it helps balance the hormones as well. Especially with women, when they enter perimenopause, the body becomes deficient in magnesium. So it's best to get the magnesium levels tested. But even if you're just going through all these symptoms that we have just talked about, there's no harm in taking a magnesium supplement, but always go for good quality supplements as well, so that they're more bioavailable. But what I mean by that is that your body is able to absorb the nutrients. The other thing is exercise is really important, because that helps to balance, suppress, or increase the hormone production. Sometimes you need to increase some of the hormones production, or you need to suppress as well. So exercise helps to do that. It increases the insulin sensitivity. So basically, when we said that if you're ingesting too much carbohydrates, your body goes into insulin resistance, your cell starts resisting it, and then that can lead to conditions like PCOS or type 2 diabetes or obesity. If you exercise, then that helps to reduce the insulin resistance, and it increases the insulin sensitivity as well. So your body is able to use any stored fat as a source of fuel when you're exercising. It also helps to regulate the estrogen levels by increasing lean muscle mass, increasing your metabolism, and it helps to burn more fat as well. It also produces endorphins or serotonin and the dopamine as well, which is feel-good hormone. And serotonin is basically a precursor to melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that helps you to sleep. So if you're exercising well during daytime, then you're able to, you can see for yourself that you're able to sleep very well at nighttime as well. It reduces the risk of many diseases like type 2 diabetes and arthritis, or osteoporosis and obesity as well. Just go for any sort of exercise that you enjoy. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to take a gym membership and that's the only way to do exercise. You can also go for walks as well, jogging, running outside. Strength training is really good. So do your own body weight, or you can use the free weights as well, resistance band or flexibility. I love doing my yoga every day, and that helps to keep my bones and my muscles flexible. So that's another good form of exercise that you can try, and even dancing as well. You know, whatever form of exercise you enjoy doing, it should not be like a chore that you have to do it, something that you really enjoy doing it. Now I just want to talk a little bit about stress and its effect on hormones. Now we've said, so it's you know, it's very normal to get stressed in day-to-day situations. So if you're getting late for work, or it's something to do with your kids, or you know, for work, it's very normal that you get stressed. And when you are stressed, your body starts producing cortisol. It's a natural phenomena, and it's a very important hormone, because without cortisol, you're not able to function. That's the important hormone that gets produced the first thing in the morning, and it helps you to get out of the bed as well. So if you're stressed, your body produces cortisol. It's fine. It's a fight or flight hormone. However, when you go into chronic stress and you're stressed out all the time, then your body produces excessive amounts of cortisol, and that has a negative impact on your hormones. So that leads to things like insulin resistance that we've talked about. It reduces the estrogen levels, and that leads to the deposition of fat, especially in your middle area. And it reduces the serotonin, which is a feel-good hormone, so that can lead to stress or depression. And also, as I said, the serotonin is a precursor to melatonin, which means that it helps the production of melatonin, which helps you to sleep. So you can imagine, if your cortisol levels are high, then you feel stressed out, even more stressed out, and you're not able to sleep very well. So how do we manage stress? So it's important, first of all, to acknowledge whenever you are stressed, you know, and it's okay. We all go through that situation where we are stressed. But the most important thing is that we acknowledge and we're able to manage our stress as well. So share your feelings, talk about it to your friends or family, or even to anybody outside. You know, if you want to get professional help, just don't feel hesitant, don't feel shy, don't feel guilty that, you know, you're going outside to talk about your feelings. It's okay. It's just important to take it out. Exercise daily, so that, you know, you get the your body produces endorphins and serotonin, so feel good hormone. And it's very important to set some time aside for yourself. So me time is really important, and don't feel guilty that you're taking out time for yourself, because if you are calm and you're not anxious and you're able to manage your stress, then and if you're happy, then you can imagine you can keep people, you know, around you, like your family, your colleagues, your friends, you'll keep them happy as well. Try relaxation techniques like breathing, meditation, yoga, journaling, do things like that, and that will help you to manage stress. Just delegate some of the non-urgent work outside. You know, there's no harm in asking your friends for help. There's no harm in asking your family members for help as well. Don't feel that, you know, that you have to do everything and the whole burden is on you, and don't feel guilty that if you are asking for help. I don't think that, you know, if you ask your friends or family for help, then they will judge you for that. So just share your feelings and just ask for help. Now let's just talk about sleep. We said that sleep is really important, and that has an impact on your hormones. If you are sleep deficient, then that is a vicious cycle. So basically that leads to the high cortisol, obesity, and insulin resistance. So it's basically a vicious cycle. So if you are sleep deficient, what happens first thing in the morning? You're irritable, you're low mood. Why? Because if you've not slept very well, your body's not producing enough amount of cortisol. I've told you that cortisol is a really important hormone. This is the hormone that needs to be produced first thing in the morning so that you're able to get out of the bed. But if you've not slept very well, the cortisol is not produced enough, and you feel really irritable and you're not able to get out of the bed. What happens then? Your body naturally starts craving for sugary foods or simple carbohydrates. And what we tend to do is we have breakfast, which is high in carbohydrates or sugars, like a croissant or toast with jam or butter, you know. And what that does is, so as I said, that if you have high sugary and high carbohydrate foods, that gets digested in your blood, and that, you know, in the form of sugar, and that basically releases the insulin production in your body. So when you're having too much carbohydrate, your body has to produce insulin. But if you're taking in too much carbohydrates, then there is an insulin spike, which leads to insulin resistance. And that can lead to obesity. And when you're obese, the whole vicious cycle starts again. Then you feel more stressed out. Your body is producing high cortisol, and you're not able to sleep again very well. And so this vicious cycle goes on and on and on until, so it's just a simple thing that you're managing your stress and you're sleeping really well. So it's important to sleep for at least 6 to 7 hours every day. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about, how to get good night's sleep. So it's important to have a schedule of going to bed and waking up, because there's something, it regulates the circadian rhythm in your body. What is a circadian rhythm? Circadian rhythm is basically your body's internal clock. And body is very clever of maintaining the internal clock. If you are maintaining your schedule of going to bed and waking up, so maintain the regular schedules, and your body will have a balanced circadian rhythm. And so if, let's say, if you're going to bed at 7 or 8 at night, and then your body will start feeling sleepy around that time if you're maintaining those cycles. And then it will feel, and when you wake up the next morning as well, your body is feeling fresh because you're maintaining the circadian rhythm. The other thing is nighttime meditation. That really helps to calm down your stress. It calms down, whatever that you've had in the day. It helps you to come out of the stress, and it calms your nerves as well, so that you're able to sleep better. Other thing that I'd like to mention here is have a gratitude journal every night. That's what I like to do, have my meditation and gratitude journal. Whatever has happened in the day, just pick 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for in that day. Even if it's just the delicious food you had, or somebody just said thank you to you for something, or your kids just came and hugged you or kissed you, you're grateful for that. So just write 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for in the day in your gratitude journal, and that will release the endorphins as well. And remember, when you release serotonin, that is a precursor for melatonin, which helps you to sleep. So nighttime meditation is really important. Exercise, we've just said, the endorphins and serotonin as well. Try not to use any electronics or the blue light at least for an hour before going to bed, because that disrupts your sleep cycle. When naturally your body starts producing melatonin, which is the sleep hormone, when it starts getting dark outside, your body is your body is developed like that. So when it sees dark, your body starts producing melatonin. So it's important to have a dark and quiet room when you go to bed. No technology, no television in the room, so that you're able to sleep well, and then your hormones are produced really well. The other thing that I wanted to say here is it's important to sleep before 10 o'clock. 10 to 2 are the peak times when your melatonin is at the peak, which means that you can go into the deep sleep as well. So it's important to go to bed before 10, and so that you get those good amounts of melatonin and you can get the restful sleep. And try not to have the caffeine just before bed, and the alcohol as well. With caffeine, I would say maximum by 3 in the afternoon. Try to have, that should be the last cutoff time when you have your caffeine, because that disrupts with your melatonin levels. Right, okay, so I talked about the xenoestrogens, which is basically the toxins. So it's important to limit the exposure to your environmental toxins as well, to balance your hormones. Now, our world is loaded with toxins. You will find toxins everywhere. You find toxins in BPA, which is found in plastic. You find it in parabens, found in cosmetics, pharmaceutical products, foods, pesticides, which is, so the foods has been sprayed with herbicides and pesticides. You even find it in pet collars as well, and household cleansers, sorry. And then the heavy metals, which is another form of toxin that you found, which is found in fish and shellfish, paints and insecticides, hair dyes as well. And did you know that you find that in newsprint? So the newspapers, magazines, and the receipts that you get at the shopping till, that has got heavy metals as well. Even dental amalgams has got mercury. So you get the mercury filling. So basically, that's the heavy metals that's going in your body. And that is what's causing the toxins. So basically, you're ingesting the toxins from the environment in your body. And they work as the endocrine disruptors. And so endocrine is a gland that produces different hormones like thyroid, parathyroid, cortisol, and other hormones as well. So they basically works as the endocrine disruptors, and that can cause health issues like cancers, cardiovascular disease, even weight gain as well. Did you know about that? You know, like just by exposing yourself to toxins, you are increasing your risk to obesity, diabetes, and autoimmune conditions as well. So what that basically does is when you come in contact with these endocrine disruptors, it binds to the hormone receptors. So in simple terms, it can either increase the production of hormone or reduce the production of hormone. So the hormones needs to be balanced. So with the endocrine disruptors, it disrupts the hormonal balance basically. So how do you come out of it and how do you limit your exposure to toxins is choose organic as much as possible. Even with the poultry and meat, go for the hormone free. So otherwise, you know, the animals are given antibiotics and growth hormones. So go for organic as much as possible. Especially with fish, go for the wild caught fish like salmon instead of the farmed varieties. Avoid pesticides as much as possible. Use glass instead of plastic. And if you have to heat anything in your microwave, try not to use the plastic containers because that can, the BPA from the plastic can leach in the food or the drinks that you're warming up. Avoid bleach papers, household, cleansers, disposable gloves, nail polish, nail removers. I mean, there's no harm in using the nail polish, but go for the brands where you have the minimal toxins, you know, which use the eco-friendly products or the toxin-free products. Exposure to non-stick cookware. So if you're using non-stick cookware for heating up the stuff or for cooking food, then the metals can leach into your food as well, and that increases the heavy metals in your body. Try to support your body's natural detoxification process by exercising and sweating on regular basis. So exercising is really important, and then going for natural and toxin-free foods as well. Okay, so that's it from me.
Great.
Thank you guys found it useful.
Yeah, no, I think it was great. Sorry, we had a problem with the electricity here. Some heavy winds are going on, so really? I apologize. So we are open for questions. I'm back. So we are open for questions. You're welcome to ask questions. I see quite a few participants in Zoom, and we are also live right now. So if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat window or type it up. So let us know. I love the way you said do me time, and also I think the way you explained all the different hormones that need to, that are there, and what is it that we need to do to balance them. I think a lot of us don't understand. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist nor a medical doctor here, but to an end user, I think it's very important to have basic knowledge of what is inside our body, what is controlling our body, at least on a basic level. So I love the way you went systematically and making all of us understand the basic levels and then telling us what to do to help all of us.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, no, I think it was great. So
it was a lot of content though. I know. I hope I didn't overwhelm you with the content. It's just vast. Hormone balance is quite vast.
Yes, and I think it's important to understand the overall, the way you presented today, and then it can be done. We can piece it up, in a piecemeal and in a digestible format, in other platforms like Insta or something. But this is a Zoom session, so people take 1 hour of their time to be with us. It's a lot of time, and I appreciate people, logging onto Zoom. So we are here for questions. If there are any questions or comments. Okay, I didn't want to be talking all the time. I was just waiting for someone to talk about, waiting for questions. Okay, so someone is saying, yes, very informative. What is the alternative cookware to non-stick pan?
So you can go for steel, is really good,
Okay.
or even ceramic as well. So that's what
Ceramic.
I use.
Yeah.
Don't go for aluminium, because again, that increases the aluminium metal in your body, and aluminium also plays with some hormone balance as well, and iron as well, because obviously you don't want to increase too much iron in your body as well. So go for steel or ceramic.
Okay. We have one more question, could you speak more about PMS triggers, and as soon as how many days, week, or months lifelong PMS could become a thing of the past? Sounds like you're having PMS issues right now.
Yeah, which is again down to hormonal imbalance. So when I
Yeah.
see clients with PMS, it's really important to investigate what is it that causes, which is what functional medicine is all about. Why is it that you are having a certain condition, whether it's PMS or menstrual imbalance. So as we said, that it's a lot to do with your estrogen decline. Your estrogen level comes down, and that's why you need to have the estrogen boost during your PMS, and then your progesterone boost from 14 days to 28 days. For PMS, I would just say that, try to do the seed cycling. That has helped many of my clients, and I really have done it myself. It has helped with my PMS in the past and with other hormonal issues as well. So try doing seed cycling, because it's just a simple thing that we do, seed cycling, like different seeds, but you can imagine what sort of boost it's giving to. So it's giving boost when your estrogen is declining, and it's giving a boost to the progesterone when progesterone is declining. So do that. And the other things is, again, diet is important. You're taking other things into consideration as well. You just liver detoxification is really important, and you have to see that you're sleeping well and you're managing your stress well, because as you've seen from the presentation, that has an impact on your hormonal balance. So if your hormone is out of balance because of any of the lifestyle factors or your diet, then you get symptoms like PMS.
Yeah. So follow up to that is that if estrogen decrease naturally as one nears menopause, as you had mentioned in one of the slides, would we have to really worry about having too low an estrogen level when we are being exposed to all these plastics and other substances that boost estrogen in the body? Question mark. It seems like actively managing estrogen level becomes less important with time. Is that the so?
If there is an estrogen decline and it starts declining, like we have seen from that timeline frame that I showed, how the estrogen level starts declining and your progesterone level starts declining. It's okay for the estrogen to decline during your perimenopause and menopause, but the problem is when your progesterone starts declining as well, and you get estrogen dominance. So it's declining, but your estrogen is still higher than your progesterone level. So if you're taking all these toxins and antibiotics through animal produce, or other ways of HRT and things like that, artificial estrogen, you're increasing the estrogen in your body way too much. However, your progesterone levels are still down, they're still low. And then that causes the estrogen dominance, and that's where you see symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats, or mood swings, and irritability or irregular periods and things like that. So it's normal that it's going to happen, but for us it's really important to balance your estrogen and progesterone levels, which is what I said. And then how you can do that is by eating the right kind of foods, by fiber, because fiber helps to bind to excessive amount of toxins as well. So if you're eating that, then it excretes the toxins from your body, and and then your estrogen disrupting chemicals go out of your body as well, and that helps to balance the estrogen and progesterone level and your other lifestyle factors.
Okay. Any follow-up? All right. Don't okay, so follow up on that. Don't what about the oils? So the same follow-up to that. Do they slow the flow of blood? Oil meaning like applying the oil, topical oil, right? That's what I'm assuming that you mean. Vegetable oils, okay. Ingested, okay. Ingested vegetable oils, do they slow the flow of blood?
Not that I have.
Skin. Okay.
Not that I have heard about the vegetable oils slowing the blood
flow of blood. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that. It's just when we say healthy fats, it's important to have the seed oils are better than vegetable oils, because oils are highly processed oils, and they've got like bleach going into them as well. So there are toxins you basically ingesting the toxins in your body. But you need to have good amounts of fats. So try to opt in for healthy fats, like not seeds oils, and even coconut oil. Even ghee is really good. So moderate amount of ghee is really good, because as I'd mentioned, that your hormones are produced using oil, and your sex hormones are produced using cholesterol. So if you go really low in your fat, in your diet, then that has an impact on your hormone production as well. But it's important to opt for good quality fat.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes. Well, you're welcome. Any other comments and feedback? We are actually, I want to say that, we are going to be launching with wellness programs in next year. And we'll be offering these program, exactly what she's talking about today. Swati's talking about from Swati. So please give us the feedback. And thank you so much for being with us. I know you've been attending a lot of our, I don't know you personally, but I know you've been attending a lot of our sessions, because I know the MY, a lot of our sessions. So thank you for your support. I don't know you personally, like I said, but I want to thank you. So any other comments and feedback, please, before we wrap up? We are almost ready to wrap up, but if you want, we can take one more question. Okay. All right. Any feedback? Anything that you like to say? Anyone? All right. Okay, so I think, well, thank you so much. I think we're ready to ready for a wrap up right now. And thank you, Swati, for being with us. I think it was all right. So it was very informational. Thank you. That's what I just want the feedback, good or bad, it doesn't matter. Just give me whatever you feel like telling us, because we want to improve and we want to give you the best of the best. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving us the feedback. So thank you everyone for watching us. And if you have any other questions, you can't think of them right now, let us know. Thank you again for your feedback. Really informative. Thanks for the great info. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. And thank you all of you for your support. Thank you so much, Swati, for being with us. An amazing session. And we will be bringing the session again. Any last comments from you, Swati?
No, that's about it. I think we've covered a lot today. But again, as you said, if anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to send to Amita, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. We will be doing a Insta Live soon. So if you have any hormonal related questions or anything to do with nutrition, you can just pass them on to Amita, and we will be happy to take them during our Insta Live as well.
That's right. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. And don't forget to share, please. Thank you. I'm begging all of you. Thank you. Bye.